Hello students, Professor Ayer here. We're talking today about microgreens. I'm recording this on April 18th, 2020. I'm at home, you probably are too. So microgreens are a way that we can grow some produce at home. We've got great nutrition because we're coming straight from the seeds. You can harvest and eat very, very fresh. So the ones I'll be using today is arugula from Kitazawa. They also have some little broccoli that we can use, bok choy. So they're a nice source. Johnny's Select is also a good source. They're closed right now, but they'll be filling orders within the next week or two. Sprout People in San Francisco is another good source. There's a lot of good seed companies out there where you can order seeds for crops that you can use include kale, broccoli, cauliflower, lettuce, beets, onions, bok choy, arugula, basil. The onions are going to take a little longer. Parsley would work. It will also take a little bit longer. So there's anything where you can eat the leaf is going to be okay. So most of these crops we grow in the garden and harvest when they're more mature, but we're harvesting these at an early stage. In this illustration, you see some of these crops. You see some broccoli and some parsley that's intended to be planted out into the garden. So what we're doing today will result in a much denser planting of these crops, and we're going to use a different kind of flat, and you're just going to harvest them with scissors. This was the picture I had. All right, but that's about the stage where you can harvest. All right, so at that stage, that crop is edible. Right, so you're going to want a flat or some other type of container. So if you've got something like this, right, that would be ideal if you've got that lying around or something like that left from the last time you purchased plants at a nursery. You can use those. You want holes in it, right? You're going to want some holes in it. This one doesn't have holes. You could also use one of these that's kind of like a open network, but you're going to put some newspapers or something down in that to hold the soil. All right, but maybe you don't have that around, so maybe you want to use something like a part of a milk carton. So I just cut off about a quarter of that side, right? Didn't quite cut it in half, and filled it about 3/4 of the way with soil there. Okay, so then we're going to I'm going to use arugula today, and we want to open carefully so that we don't spill it all over. Seeds are not as cheap as they used to be. Right, so in this container, I'm going to put maybe about a teaspoon or half a teaspoon full of seeds. All right, so they gave me a pretty generous supply in there, but I want to get several flats out of there. So that's kind of what we're putting out there. You could go a little more, a little less. The more you do it, the more you'll get an idea. Some crops want to be a little closer, some a little farther away. This is going to make a very tender, juicy. This is going to be just a little bit spicy. This is going to be delicious in a salad. So let's say you're making quinoa salad, or even let's say you've got some canned mandarin tangerines, or you've got some oranges that you've got in the fridge. Whatever produce you've got, you're going to be able to make a salad, or you could use this as a garnish on top of some other dish. You can also use cilantro in this, so if you've got a whole lot of cilantro seeds, you can work. So we've got them spread out. You probably won't be able to see them on the soil there. And now I'm just going to, maybe you can a little bit, I'm just going to rub them in a little bit to make sure I've got a nice even distribution. Right. And now I'm going to add a little bit more soil on top. Right, about a 1/4 of an inch of soil. Okay, there we go. All right. That's it. You could use some other growing medium. This container has some holes in the bottom. Then that's going to go outside, and I'm going to water it, let it grow. It'll probably be maybe about 5 days to germination. My seed packet, I'm going to tape it up because I don't want to have those seeds spilling all over. You could use a nice paper clip or something as well if you don't like all that tape. All right. So there were our instructions. You remember to read the packet. There's a lot of information on your seed packet. It's going to give you depth of planting. This has the spacing for if we were growing this out in the field. And so we're going to space it more closely because we're going to harvest earlier. All right, when you go to harvest, you're going to use nice clean scissors, quick rinse, and then it can go in your meal. That's it. We'll be back with the harvest on another day.